Hi, hello, how are you? Welcome back to the Curvy E Chronicles. We are cooking up dinner this week, and I tossed in a dessert. Let's do it. All right, so we started the week off with Dr. Pepper Crock Pot Country Style Pork Ribs. Yes, that is quite the mouthful. So these are the ones I bought from Costco. If you watched my Costco haul, so I just layered them in the pan. The recipe did not call for this, but I did season them with a Texas style barbecue rub that we have. And then here for the fun/weird part is the Dr. Pepper. So the recipe calls for like 1 can. I just measured out in a measuring cup with a 2 liter because the 2 liter is cheaper than buying a half rack of soda that we don't need to drink. So we're going to make sure the ribs are nice and covered, and we're going to put that on low for 7 hours. My crockpot doesn't have that setting, so we just did 8, and I just checked it when it was roughly about 7 hours. So we're going to make mashed potatoes with this. Always season your water when you boil your potatoes. And pro tip, putting the wood spoon over the top will keep the water from boiling over. So once the ribs have cooked for the 7 hours, we are going to line a cookie sheet with some parchment paper or tin foil. And then we are going to mix a jar of barbecue sauce with about half a cup more of soda. We're going to take out the ribs, we're going to place them on the cookie sheet and baste them with the barbecue mixture and put them in a 400-degree oven for 15 minutes. Flip them over after the 15 minutes, pour the rest of the barbecue sauce, and do it again. In the meantime, we are going to take our boiled potatoes and put them over some butter and cream cheese, and then we're going to add in some half and half or heavy cream and some salt. And then this is what the ribs look like afterwards. So stinking good. And they really caramelize when you cook them in the oven afterwards. So super delicious. The next day, we went for something super easy with the chicken thighs. I did half this recipe because the original recipe asked for like 8 chicken thighs and we only had 3. So I did half a cup of shredded cheddar cheese, a 1/4 cup of mayo, some ranch seasoning, probably could have done a little more ranch, and then a couple healthy scoops of garlic. I did pat dry my thighs and pulled the skin off, and then we are going to place our mixture right on top. To add to this, we are going to do a side of roasted broccoli, and the great thing about this is all cooked in one pan, which is so nice. So douse that up with some olive oil, some ranch seasoning, and some garlic salt, and then into the oven at 400 for 35 minutes. I am getting better at cooking these, and I did use an internal thermometer temperature to check it, but this was really good and the kids loved it too. So next up, we're going to do the marinade for our pork chops. So 1/4 cup of oil, 1/4 cup of soy sauce, 2 teaspoons or tablespoons, heck, I don't remember, of brown sugar. The recipes are all going to be linked below if you want to copy them. We're going to do, I think these are tablespoon of Dijon mustard, and then of course a couple healthy scoops of garlic, because why would we be cooking without garlic? It doesn't make sense to me either. Then we are going to put in our chops, and we are going to very quickly mush these around. These are bone-in chops, so I did have to double bag these later, and we cook these up on the barbecue with our asparagus. So for the asparagus, my husband just did some avocado oil, we don't have olive oil, and some garlic, salt, and pepper, and this was to die for. Now that it's summertime and the barbecue's rolling, takes some of the weight off my plate. So this next one is the chicken Hawaiian sandwiches, and oh my heavens, these were to die for. So our diced up onion goes into a pan with some butter. Then we are doing our barbecue sauce. So a tablespoon of soy sauce, 1.5 teaspoons of Worcestershire, 1/2 cup of brown sugar, a dash of onion powder, salt, and pepper. And then because I don't have a 3/4 cup measuring cup, we just used our 1/4 cup measuring cup and did 3 of them full of ketchup. And my ketchup was like on its last leg by the time we got to the end of it. You'll see it spray here in a second. There it goes. We did also go in with pineapple juice. So I just used the pineapple juice from my canned slices. I got about 1.5 cups. The recipe does call for 2, but honestly, this was plenty. As you see there, my slice is trying to fall out. And then a healthy scoop of garlic, maybe 2, because that's how we cook. Once that's all mixed in well together, we are going to add in a 1/4 cup of flour to our pan with our onions. This will help the sauce thicken later on, so we're just going to mix that in until it gets a little pasty. Then we are going to add in our sauce, and we are going to cook this on low to medium heat until it starts to get bubbly and thicken up. It's basically like a barbecue sauce is what we're making. While that's cooking, we are going to jump in and do our coleslaw. So I took just a bag of the pre-made coleslaw mix, which is what the recipe calls for, 1/2 cup of sugar, and I think it's equal parts or 1/2 cup of like vinegar, apple cider vinegar. Maybe it's a 1/4 cup, I don't remember. And then we're going to go in with 1.5 cups of mayo and then some seasonings. If I could change this recipe up, I think I would lessen the sugar in the vinegar a little bit. Actually, I think I would even lessen the mayo. It was real thick, but we're going to go in with, I think it's 1/2 teaspoon of ground mustard, some onion powder, and then of course salt and pepper to taste. And we're going to mix this all really good till it's nice and combined. And then I put some saran wrap over the top and stuck it in the fridge. While our sauce is almost finished, we are going to place our chicken breasts into the crock pot. I did end up thawing out 2 additional chicken breasts because the 2 initial ones I did were really small. So we're going to add in our barbecue sauce right on top of that chicken. And then we are going to let this cook on low for 6 hours or until it's ready to shred. And I will tell you the easiest way to shred is with a hand mixer, which I finally replaced mine. So we're just going to mix that all up, and then we're going to let it cook a little bit longer before we dish up. But these sandwiches were to die for. You just top the chicken with the coleslaw on the bun, and oh my Lanta, so good. For a side with this one, we did just do some french fries in the air fryer, but this is definitely going to be a repeat recipe. So good. And then you might be asking, Courtney, what did you do with your pineapple slices? Well, that is a great question. I made pineapple upside down cake, and I made it the easiest way possible. Literally, it was a box of cake mix, according to the directions, and then you just take 1/2 stick of butter and 1/2 cup of brown sugar and line that on the bottom of the pan, and then you put your pineapple rings in, dump your cake mix over, and you serve it with some whipped cream. So good. The final dinner for the week was steak and corn on the cob. We had these steaks in the freezer for a little while, so I asked my husband to barbecue them up. We do like the Kinder's buttery steak on those. And he just cooks, he has a charcoal barbecue, so he just cooks the corn in the husk. And then he did some onions in that foil packet, but this was delicious. And now that the weather's getting so nice, it is so much fun to eat outside as a family. But I hope you like what you see here. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe.